Calls to boycott Fred Meyer today, coming from the union representing grocery workers in our region. This comes after they authorized a strike a couple of weeks ago. For months, the union has been trying to negotiate higher pay and close what they call a gender pay gap with regional supermarkets. UFCW Local 555 says Fred Meyer started committing unfair labor practices and coercing employees.
They were calling members into these one-on-one meetings called captive audience meetings and harassing them, telling them they were worthless, telling them they could be replaced by someone off the street, trying to coerce them to leave the union, just a bunch of scare tactics and intimidation tactics.
Fred Meyer says those allegations are completely untrue and misleading, and the company wouldn't stand for any type of coercion. So let's bring in investigative reporter Morgan Romero. You're here to catch us up on really the battle that's being waged at the supermarket. And it's really interesting case because a lot of Fred Meyer employees, they don't have contracts right now.
Yeah, it's wild, Brittany. And you mentioned earlier, once the union authorized that strike, they kept working with Fred Meyer to increase wages to make things more fair. But Fred Meyer, they weren't meeting them halfway. So the union went ahead and they canceled one department's contract extension. And then they said that's when Fred Meyer retaliated and they started treating employees unfairly. So they went ahead and they canceled all contract extensions for the majority of the departments, and that's for 57 stores in Southwest Washington and Oregon in most departments.
Hence the boycott that we're experiencing right now. So we've been following this story for really quite some time, and it's really raising a lot of questions online, especially social media. One in particular, why is there even a wage gap in the first place? Because isn't it the unions that really negotiate these wages?
Right, it's pretty historical, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But I do want to be clear, data shows men do make more than women in Fred Meyer's stores, but it's not that women are making less doing the same exact job in the same department for the same amount of time.
UFCW Local 555 commissioned an outside agency to dig into this. Here's what they found. In the grocery contract at Fred Meyer, there are Schedule A and Schedule B jobs with different wage scales. A makes more than B. There are mostly men in Schedule A, while women are more likely to work in lower-paying Schedule B jobs. That is driving a gender pay gap. Historically, women have worked in Schedule B departments, and those jobs have always been paid less. Schedule A departments include grocery, produce, cold wall deli, and beer, wine, and liquor departments. They make $17.20 an hour. Schedule B jobs include bakery, deli, cheese, coffee shop, and e-commerce. They make $13.50 an hour. This study found workers in both schedules stock shelves, prepare food, and give customer service. So the union argues they all have their own unique challenges and should be paid about the same.
I think what happened was that two-tiered wage schedule just sort of stayed in place for a while. And then what we have, the reason that we think we're seeing women being pushed into those Schedule B jobs is just a long-term perception, sort of the collective unconscious of what constitutes women's work versus men's work. And that's just not true anymore. And the reason that we've never brought it up before is we never had documentation until this contract cycle.
More research needs to be done on the why. Is it that women are more drawn to jobs in the deli or bakery versus men? Does management funnel them into those paths? Do these jobs pay less because they're majority women? The union thinks yes to the last two. Overall, the biggest factor in the gap is the disproportionate number of women in lower-paying Schedule B departments.
So obviously a much more complicated issue than it appears from the outside. So has Fred Meyer responded to the calls for boycott?
Yeah, so they responded, a few weeks back when they authorized that strike, and then they responded again today saying basically the same thing. They said there is no wage gap. It's an unfair, unjust accusation. But they also said in regards to the boycott, they believe that it's unfair to employees, to their families, to communities, and to customers, and it actually gives their non-union competitors a leg up.
We don't funnel people into certain job types based on their gender. Rather, we encourage all applicants to apply for jobs that appeal best to them and their lifestyle, so that they'll hopefully love their work and stay with the company. The tiers that are in place, the matrix that is in place, is what was negotiated for union members by the union.
Again, to reiterate, as we mentioned earlier, the union does negotiate those wages and they negotiate wage scales. Today, Fred Meyer took out this ad in the Oregonian explaining their side. Temple, meanwhile, says Freddie's proposed increasing wages and offers great benefits and pension. Meanwhile, the union also represents workers at QFC, Safeway, and Albertson stores in Oregon and Southwest Washington. They'll all be back at the bargaining table later this week. Brittany.
Thank you so much, Morgan. And Morgan did pose the question on social media, and we've been getting a ton of responses asking, are you planning to boycott Fred Meyer? And we are seeing a lot of differing answers, some simple yes or no answers. A lot of people saying no, they'll not cross the picket line because #Union Strong. Some other people saying no, but for reasons that might surprise you. Those reasons being it's the only affordable option that they have for groceries in the area, and others simply saying it isn't their fight.